And welcome back to the Halftime Report. I'm Bob Pisani. Time for ETF Edge. One Pennsylvania teenager raking in $3 million at the Fortnite World Cup this weekend, the biggest amount ever won by a single player at an esports event. With esports revenues projected to hit over $1 billion this year, how can investors take advantage of the group? Team Seymour Asset Management, Todd Rosenbluth of CFRA joining me now. Todd, the gaming space is blowing up in anticipation of that esports is going to be huge. Is it, and is there a way to play this using ETFs?
Well, there's certainly an investment case for it, and we now have a handful of products that are out there. ESPO. ESPO is a VanEck Vectors ETF that has outperformed the broader market this year. It's up over 26%. There's another product, Gamer, GAMR, which is underperforming. So you really need to take a look at what's inside the portfolio. You get companies that are clear plays on this, like Activision Blizzard, and then you've got companies like NVIDIA that have exposure to esports, but obviously lots of other segments too.
I guess that's the problem I have with all of these really tight niches here. It's tough to get a real pure play.
Pure.
I mean, what do you have? You have Electronic Arts, Activision, maybe Tencent. I know you're big on Tencent, but not a lot.
If I went on, to me, arguably the global incubator for gaming and esports, it's Tencent. I mean, it's 30% of their revenues. They're seeing CAGR of roughly 32%. They own 40% of Epic Games, which is Fortnite. So depending how deep in the weeds you want to go on this, Bob, I think you really do have some ETFs that can take you even further than that.
Yeah, GAMR was been around for 3 or 4 years already. That's a pretty broad one. I think what's interesting about these 3 ETFs that are out there is more than half of them are outside the United States. A lot of obscure Japanese companies, if you really want to get on the weeds on some of this, not a lot of people know a lot about. I guess the question is there going to be enough there to really justify a real industry?
Well, that's the case. I mean, so you've got the newer product, the esports one, ESPO, that has just 26 holdings. So the gamer product has 3 times that. Obviously, there's a lot of differences in what's inside the portfolio. The VanEck Vectors is more concentrated, but you want to have a global play, then there's the gamer product.
We got to go, Tim, but I noticed the big players, Electronic Arts, only up 10%, Activision, 1%, Take-Two, the other big players, 17%. It's lagging a little bit this year.
EA reports tomorrow, and they had a massive run. It's now trading around 25 times forward. Apex Legends is their big new title coming out, or at least it's a repeat, a refresh. And I think gaming is here. I think esports are absolutely here, and I think buying the longer-term players that aren't really priced for gross anymore.
Okay, thanks, guys. Tim and Todd, appreciate you joining us.